To all of the women out there, one of the hardest conversations I've had recently and just had as a broker is explaining to a widow that selling her home may not be as simple as she thought after the loss of her spouse. Do you know how hard it is to tell a widow that she will not walk away with $300,000 in her pocket just because her husband did not leave a will? So look, I want to be honest with you and I want to tell you what's going on. Four different women I've spoken to, over $1 million either tied up or lost. Here are the scenarios that I want to share with you, and you may relate to one of them. Okay? Four different women want to sell their property after losing either a spouse or a parent. In two of those situations, the spouse died intestate. In the other two situations, the parents died intestate. So, first things first, what is intestate? It simply means that your loved one passed away without a will in place. That is a problem because a will is a legal document that explains who will inherit your assets. And that includes things like your home, any real estate property like land, your bank accounts, or whatever else that you own, a car. It could be anything that you own. The heirs include a spouse, children, or other family members, depending upon the situation. So in a will, that individual is saying who these assets will transfer to upon death. So what would happen if a loved one dies without a will? Well, then the state ultimately determines how those assets are distributed. And that process can become quite complicated, quite stressful, and it may not go the way you want it to go. And this is where many of the women that I've worked with were not protected. You were not protected, nor did your husbands protect you when they were living. Because many of you assume you automatically have full rights to the home or the proceeds from selling the property, only to discover that there are additional legal steps required before you can sell it. I'm sure you're wondering what those legal steps are, and I'm going to share those in the video. Somewhere at the end of the video, I'll share with you what to do to prove that you have the legal authority to sell a home and the legal right to sign a listing agreement. But I just want you to be very well aware of what is happening here. Okay? I want to be transparent and honest with you because you don't think any of this applies to you until it does. And when there are hundreds of thousands of dollars on the line from the sale of a property that could help you to move on in life, find another home, relocate, pay bills, whatever it is, you'll quickly understand why it matters. Okay? And I'm using the examples of these four different women to be able to help you to know what to do. So here's what can happen to your money if there's no will naming you as a rightful owner. First of all, probate may be required, and that can take time for a will to be probated. Adult children or heirs could inherit interest, and they may have more rights than you, depending on the situation. Heirs may need to be located, which can take time. And sometimes a simple affidavit may not be enough to prove ownership. And then, of course, the title could become clouded. So these are the situations that some of the women I have dealt with are facing. And here's what all of this can mean in dollars and emotions. losing money you were counting on for your next home. Um, you could fall behind financially while waiting for probate or title issues to be resolved. Um, oh, arguing with family over inherited property. That can take years. Okay? Years. Um, but I do want to explain that there's another part that many families are not prepared for. That in order to list a property and successfully complete the sale of that property, the title company that your realtor is working with may require certain documentation. Okay, so this is not a situation where you put off. If you need to sign a listing agreement, you need to have these documents in place. And depending upon your situation, you could be asked to provide a couple of different things, such as information showing whether the probate was filed and where the will was filed and in what county it was filed in. If there's no will that was filed, you may have to provide an heirship affidavit that needs to be prepared and recorded. And that helps to determine who the legal heirs are and who has the right of ownership in that property. And trying to locate legal heirs, that could be quite difficult. You may need to provide a certificate, a death certificate, a copy of your listing agreement with your real estate agent. It just depends upon your situation as to what the title company may require you to provide. So because every family situation is different and so many situations are out there, the title company could request additional documentation, and that would require you to do a lot more digging, a lot more work, a lot more paperwork in order to finalize the deal. So here's the best thing for you to do. In fact, let me just go ahead and tell you that was the bad and that was the ugly. Okay, it's not that good, but this is how you're going to make it better. This is how you will protect yourselves and then share this with your husband so that they can do the right things right now to protect you. And that is what you both need to do. You got to do it. So first of all, write out a will or create a trust. You'll need to talk to an estate planning attorney to do that. I used to work for one, and it is very simple to write out a will expressing your wishes. Also, see how your home is titled. Look at the deed and see how it's titled. Be sure to keep your documents organized. One of the women that I spoke to just recently lost her important documents in a flood. So if you know that you've lost documents, get up right now and go and find where those original documents are filed and get copies of that. Because if you don't do it and you happen to pass away, it will be even harder for your kids to do that. Let's see. Also, review your wills and any trusts, especially if you've gone through a remarriage or you're in a blended family. Okay. So if you want to avoid any issues later, just address them right now. Just literally right now, today, have a discussion with your mate and put things in place. Speak with an estate planning attorney. Have the conversations that most families are putting off. And I know that you're putting them off because I, as a broker, and my agents are trying to help you navigate selling a home without a will. It is possible. It can happen. It will take time. And in some of the situations that I have dealt with, one person found out that she did not have the full legal authority to sell the home, and that the spouse that died, his children had the rights to the property. not her as the second person that he married. And she lost out on nearly $300,000. Another situation, the daughter was unable and is unable to sell the land that her parents own because she has to go through a lot of hoops in order to clear the cloud on the title because there was no will that was left. These are real case scenarios. These are real situations that I, as a woman, am trying to help other women navigate right now, but I want to help you to be able to be prepared and do the right things for yourself, protect yourself right now. Okay? All right. My name is Rochelle Fitzgerald. I am the broker and the owner of Fitz and Company Real Estate. If you have any questions or concerns, you can always contact me at the number or contact information within this video. I am here to help you. I can help put you in contact with the right people because my expertise is real estate. I am not an estate planning attorney, nor am I the title company, but I can definitely put together the team that will be able to help you protect yourselves right now.